All right, y'all. Hello, everybody. Got a weird angle here and a weird setup, but it's the best I could do. The lighting's weird, but I am live, and I want to just chat for a minute. Tell you guys what's up. Wish I could put this thing. I'll try not to fuss with this the whole time, but if I could get this like over here, maybe that might be better. I'm in a kid's room right now. I'm staying with a friend. Boy, that's just awful. All right, whatever. And I'm over in Dripping Springs, Texas right now, y'all. So I want to give you two big updates that are going on. And I'll just get right to those and then I'll kind of fill you in on what I've been up to. But the first update is that tomorrow is a big class I'm offering online with a guest artist, the guy that's responsible for me playing the harmonica, Guy Forsyth. So that's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about leading a band and communicating with a band and how you can do that effectively, whether you're going to sing or not. Learning this skill. I've been check him out, the Nutcracker behind me. This skill is a really important one. This topic's going to be a great topic to explore with a hell of a player and band leader, Guy Forsyth from Austin, Texas. And I'm doing that in person with Guy over at his place tomorrow. So if you want to learn more this is terrible. If you want to learn more about how to get in on that, just check the video description. And I'll put a link in the video description for that. I highly recommend checking it out. You can always learn more about ways to lead a band and communicate effectively. So some of the topics are setting the groove, starting a song, how to get them to do things like put the stops in there, and all the other things that you really need to understand about communication when it comes to the bandstand. So there's that. Stage etiquette. We're also going to pick his brain about how he chooses position work and improvisation. So that's tomorrow. I hope some of you will consider checking that out. And today I'm offering, just for everyone, I'm going to come back and live stream this afternoon, probably somewhere around 4:30 or 5 p.m. Central at the latest. I wish I could schedule it, but I'm just going to do it spontaneously. So if you miss it, you can check it out later. But my good buddy Roy Parnell, where I'm staying, his family is legendary in the music world, and there's a lot of rich history that surrounds the Parnell family. You can look that up. So I'm going to interview him and just put that out on YouTube today. Talk about his background. We're going to maybe play a little bit. He's got some incredible gear here too that we're going to check out. He's got some of the most amazing amplifiers you've ever seen. Some of it's custom built, some of it's vintage. So we're going to do a little stream here this afternoon, and you can catch that. I hope some of you will join in on that live. You can ask a couple questions, but mainly we'll be just talking and getting some background on Roy Parnell. Just like I said, if you missed it, I talked about wanting to do these from the road, and here I am on the road letting you know that it's coming your way. So Roy is also the producer of this harmonica workshop that just finished up in Kerrville, Texas at the Folk Festival. So yeah, he's a guy you want to know about. Not only is he a great harmonica player, but he can sing his ass off. He's a great singer, songwriter. But look up the Parnell family. Search that name, okay, and see what you find. Get you excited about this upcoming live stream. So those are the two main things I wanted to communicate to let you know that's coming today. I figure that way people see this stream, they get a heads up that it's coming this afternoon. And then, of course, tomorrow with Guy Forsyth in Austin, Texas. Really looking forward to that. If it weren't for Guy, I would not be playing blues harmonica. That's guaranteed. I'd still be playing like Oh Susanna. He was the guy that turned me on to all that great stuff. So that is what's coming your way. Now that the housekeeping's out of the way, we can just chill and chat for a minute. Had a great time in Kerrville, Texas. Met some new friends and saw some old ones, and we worked on all sorts of great topics. I got to learn a new song from the great P.T. Gazelle, Blue Drag. Anybody know that song, Blue Drag? This is a really cool number. We learned it in fifth position. So thanks, PT. That was extremely insightful. Really enjoyed that. Whoa. What else can I tell you that's happened on the road? Lots of storms coming my way in Texas. This like these storms are just chasing me, man. I can't escape the weather. But that's normal this time of year in Texas. Maybe I could show you what it looks like behind me. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. I know the light's going to come in and make it maybe worse, but let's see here if I can do this without destroying anything. Yeah, there you go. It's beautiful. Got my little wireless mic on here. I'm in hill country, so beyond these trees you can't really see too well, but it's just rolling hills and it's gorgeous. So this is where I am. This is where I'll be for one more night before I head to Austin with Guy Forsyth. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of these travels because if you live in and around Chicago, I'll be in Chicago area coming up at the end of the month. Yeah, it's gorgeous out here. I'll be in Chicago at the end of the month playing some gigs. Be in Evanston. I can stand for a minute. Just stand. What else can I tell you that's coming up on this trip? Oh, huge announcement. Maybe I should save that for the next live stream because the next announcement I make, yeah, I think I should save that. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'll save the next announcement, but there's something very special that's coming up. I want to say it's late June. It's like 3 weeks into June, the 21st or 3rd, somewhere around there. And there's going to be a really cool thing happening that you don't want to miss. So I'll post that. I'll do a little live stream on that. But don't forget today. Today is going to be very cool getting Rob Roy's a little bit of history, hear him play a little bit, and just talk to him about his experiences. The more you hang out with great players and performers, you soak it up. So we can do that virtually too. What can I give you in the harmonica department? Something productive to think about. I saw Elise jump on here. She was in the Q&A last night, my membership Q&A that I do twice. Dig 3 in Chicago area? Yep, Dig 3 in Chicago area. Evanston. I'll put dates. Tell you what, I'll put the Chicago dates under this under this live stream. I'll also put the ticket information to Guy Forsyth class coming up tomorrow in here. But yeah, Dig 3 is going to be playing. There's like a show in Indiana. There's a show in Evanston, Illinois. And there's one or two others, and I cannot think of the city. So let me just get back to that and put it in the video description. So I was saying that in our membership Q&A last night, one of the things we were talking about was warbles and breath control. This topic came up, and we were just getting into this, talking about strategy for how to not run out of air. And it was the song Blue Midnight. That was the tune that... It's nice to stand, by the way. The next desk I purchase, because I gave away my desk just recently, the next desk I purchase is going to be a standing desk. Anybody out there own a standing desk? That's what I want to get. So it was the song Blue Midnight has this section where it's like 3 or 4 measures of just a warble where he's going... And it just keeps going, and it was like, how do you keep that up? And one thing I can tell you for sure is that little Walter didn't play very hard when he was playing. He let the amplifier do the work for him, and the microphone. He knew how to work that so that he could play very quiet. And the reason it's so important to play quietly is because That's where you get all that sweet tone and control over technique. So if you're struggling with breath control on these long notes, you've got to learn how to regulate your air and use less air. It's that simple. And how do you do that? You can practice that with long notes that you take in slowly and hold your breath at the end, and then release it slowly and hold your breath again at the exhale, at the end of the exhale. And you can learn to extend that time by practicing it incrementally. Just, 3 to 5 seconds in, hold your breath for a second or two. 3 to 5 seconds out, hold your breath and don't do anything. No breath in or out. And you'll become more and more comfortable extending these long notes. The other tip that I had thrown out was just get your air out. If you're going to be playing, make sure you're finding ways to get your breath back, and that means either through the instrument or just taking it away and getting your breath out. So right there on that one, thanks, Lise. That one, when I wanted my breath out, I did it over the chord. Hear it? And it's not a chord that I'm trying to use other than a rhythmic accent, and it's really to get my breath out. But rhythmically, it fits. So. Or just take the harp out of your mouth. You got to remember that sometimes, a little less air will give you a lot better tone. And you get some sort of benefit from the phrasing and how fluid your phrasing is, in that you have more control of those microtonal bends to. I think it's easier to shape these cool nuanced sounds on a diatonic when you're just using less air. And we talked about that topic for quite a while. I wish I could stare at my phone, but it's being used for the live stream because I wanted to mention some of the other topics that we're going to be covering tomorrow, like bringing in a band. That was one of the other ones. Like, there's so many cool little things that when you learn them, they're very easy to do, and they make you come off as a much more aware and professional player than not. And vice versa, like the opposite is when you don't learn a few of these tips or tricks, you feel lost and you might feel embarrassed on stage, even if you're just going to a blues jam and all that. So you sort of need to start to develop communication skills early if you want to work with other musicians. And that's why I'm so excited to present that class with Guy and pick his brain. Guy is one of the most electric, exciting performers that I know. That's why I think he hooked me on the instrument, because when I first heard blues harmonica played live, it was from Guy, and he was just, it's like he embodies every note he's playing, and when he sings and when he performs, he's all in. You guys that are signed up for this class are in for a treat, and you're going to learn a lot. I record all these classes so you can go back and download it and play it later. So if you're struggling with breath control, I'll just leave you with a couple tips. Work on melodies in second position where you have to focus on all these draw notes. Take a minute to learn. The one I always point out in second position is You Are My Sunshine. There are blow notes in it in second, but there's a lot of inhale. Like all that. There's your blow notes. So if you're spending more time playing these first position melodies, start working in melodies that are in second position. And learn Blue Midnight, because then you'll get that practice on those long warbles. The version we learned in that class when I taught it was the alternate take. So check that out. I might be stopping in Clarksdale. I haven't decided yet. I think I will. And what's in Clarksdale besides Charlie Musselwhite and Killer Barbecue? Maybe. Deke Harp is in Clarksdale, and Deke's, what's he call it? The Mississippi Saxophone Emporium. Is that right? Does anybody know? Maybe you can look it up. So if I do that, of course, I'm going to go into his place and I'll live stream a little bit from there so you guys can check it out. We could talk to Deke. And again, if you're just joining, this afternoon I'll be live streaming. I'm not going to schedule it. I'm just going to do it spontaneously, somewhere between 4:30 and 5 p.m. or so. And it'll feature Roy Parnell. And that's just a stream that'll happen here on my YouTube channel. You can just tune in and look for that. And I love this little wireless mic because I don't have to be close to the camera unless I'm trying to read the comment. You know, one thing I didn't get to teach at Kerrville that I really wanted to teach, but there was so many topics floating around that we had to, focus. And I didn't get to teach it, but you hear me doing it on this channel a bunch, which is being able to just play unaccompanied and the benefits you gain from learning how to do that. First of all, it's just fun. Some of the most fun I have and the most enjoyable harmonica for me is when I'm playing on my own with nobody. Teaches you how to stay in time, learning the structure of 12-bar blues, and how to combine this idea of rhythm and riffs together. And to me, it's some of the coolest stuff you could do on the harmonica. If you like that stuff, you can check out like the Front Porch class I did, or that's the main one, Front Porch. It's about just that, dissecting these elements that make up the groove that you're playing, which is the chords and the riffs. And it's not too hard because even a beginner can just play 1, 2, 3, draw and blow. Just to get started so you can work on timing and groove and rhythm right there. You just stay with that. Maybe you can do it with a backing track if you're having trouble on your own, or put on a metronome, but you've got to be able to play unaccompanied. If you can demonstrate that you can do that well, then you're going to have no problem playing with other people when the time comes to sit in and play. Let's see what this looks like if I put it underneath. Trying not to give you all a scare. Is that a little more discreet there? Now it looks like I have something floating on my shirt. How's that sound? Trying to think of the first things, like for me when I was first learning, it was melodies, Oh Susanna, and all this stuff that to be honest, for me wasn't something that I was like, I had so much fun learning it. That was my first, honestly, one of my first introductions to music, because it was a piece of music that I could play all on my own. Oh Susanna, I think I look back and I'm like, you played Oh Susanna. I probably played it for 4 months before I even tried anything else. Which means if you do that, you get really good at one thing. All the things you learn from that transfer to the next thing that you might want to learn. I really don't like that look. I'll figure this out. And the other thing that came up in this Q&A, last thing that just riffing here, is that it takes a lot less air to do it. We're talking about air, breath control. It takes a lot less air than you might think to accomplish the volume you want or the attack that you're trying to get. It's less than you would think. So as you practice, try to do it as quietly as you can. Not so quiet that you lose what you're after, but just quiet enough to where you're it's forcing you to listen. The quieter you get, the better you can hear, especially if you're playing with other people too. So I hope to see some of you this afternoon in my live stream with Roy Parnell. You can go look him up and check him out. He has played with everybody in the Texas scene. He is extremely well known. You don't want to miss that live stream, and you don't want to miss the class tomorrow with Guy Forsyth talking about leading and communicating with a band. It's going to be extremely insightful. We're going to talk about a little bit of choosing position work and improvisation tips as well. And you can come into these sessions if you can join live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. You can ask your own questions. And that's key, because it's not just us feeding you what we want to feed you. It's you guys saying, well, what about this? What about that? And then you go back and review it all, and you've got something that you can really work on. I can't think of a more valuable topic for somebody that wants to go to blues jams or start a band or join a band. Even if you're not going to lead the band in the band that you work with, it's nice to be able to do one song, something where you can call it an instrumental, and you understand how to communicate that groove, how to bring them in properly, etc. To make sure you're getting what you actually want out of it versus it becoming whatever it became because you didn't know how to communicate it. And I'll admit, I've been there more times than I care to admit. I've been there, so I know what the other side looks like. And that's what I got. Just a quick check-in to remind you about what's coming up today. I hope to see you guys on the live stream, and I hope to see some of you in class tomorrow. Or in Chicago. When I get to Chicago, I'll put information on these things in the video description here in the next 20 minutes or so. All right, that's all I got, man. This is just a spontaneous little thing here. And on that note, I'll see some of you guys a little bit later on, and some of you tomorrow. Make it a great rest of your day. See you soon.